afternoon. You tune into ET now, and this is a Market Fatafat with Nisha D'Souza, and along with me I have Vinny Motiwala. Very good afternoon to you, Vinny. And before we actually kickstart with the show, with all the stocks that are moving in trade today, let's take a look at what the markets are doing at this juncture. If you look at the markets, we've given up all of those morning gains right now in the negative territory, both for the benchmark indices. You have Nifty Bank that is actually struggling around the positive mark. 0.3% uptick coming in for the Nifty Bank as we speak. If you look at certain stocks that are in focus on back of its earnings, one of them would be India Cements that came out with its earnings shortly a while ago. You have KPR Mills, Alkyl Amines and Automotive Axles. They are the one that came out with numbers a short while ago. But Marico, Vinny, is a counter that is in focus down in trade on back of its earnings. So let's connect with the management. We have Saugata Gupta, who's the MD and CEO at Marico, joining us on the show. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Gupta. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. This is Cheryl on the other side. You had guided for a mid-single-digit volume growth in H2 versus the previous guidance of around 8 to 10%. Are you being too conservative now?
I think what we have given is at least a mid-single-digit growth. We definitely expect the rural market to recover. Also, the fact that in urban, both the discretionary and business is doing well, the food business is doing well. So I think the reason we gave a guidance of this is something which is at a minimum should happen.
Right, Mr. Gupta, this is Vinny joining in as well. What I want to understand in terms of your outlook, especially coming in for all the rural areas, you have indicated a bit of a weakness coming in there. So how is the rural versus urban trend, and when do you actually start expecting the rural demand to start seeing a recovery?
So combination of the fact that the government continues to invest behind rural, while there has been some unseasonal rainfall, the overall crop situation is not that bad. And the fact that we are going to lap a lower base, that gives us the confidence that rural will gradually improve as we move towards the second half. So I think the current gap which is there between urban and rural will slowly start getting bridged. Also the fact that we continue to see robust consumption as far as discretionary and food category is concerned in urban.
Right, Mr. Gupta, and what about in terms of the prices of copra? Now, they have seen a continuous decline even in this quarter. So what is the guidance in terms of margins, and what is the pricing strategy that we could expect? Given the reduction, could we see the company taking more price cuts now?
So we have correspondingly taken price drops, and that is one of the reasons I think, as you know, that in Parachute, given a mass distributed brand, it takes at least 6 to 8 weeks for the price to settle in, and we have been forced to take multiple price drops so that we can protect volume and market share. We believe that by December, this thing will stabilize and Parachute will get into growth. Obviously, copra will continue to remain soft. That gives us comfort in margins. And we continue to expect sequential margin growth as we move into Q3 and Q4.
Right. What has happened in the Parachute category, that is your oils category, the coconut oil category? What is the reason for a subdued volume growth in the quarter gone by? And also, have you seen any market share loss as well in that category?
No, we continue to gain market share. I think what has happened is very simple, is that, as you know, that a significant portion of the Parachute is mass distributed, and it takes time for a price discovery to happen. So every time, normally what happens is that in the off season, which starts in September, October, copra prices go up, and therefore, unlike this year, copra prices have continued to slide down. As a result, we have been forced to take 3 to 4 price drops. Now, whenever there are price drops in the system, that creates instability in the go-to market, and therefore we are hoping by December we have taken perhaps the final price drop and the prices will settle down. Once prices will settle down, as you know, we need the correct pricing in Parachute. The consumers will discover the correct pricing in Parachute, and therefore we expect the volumes to start coming up sometime between sometime this quarter and definitely in Q4.
And, Mr. Gupta, given that we're seeing inflation coming in, there is pressure coming in on purchasing power of consumers. So any sort of down trading that you've seen coming in, or now even there's downgrading in products, especially the discretionary side of the company, especially the VAHO segment?
So in the core, there is some downgrading that is happening, and I think that is normal in cases when there is high inflation. We expect, of course, the inflationary condition to stabilize now. Whenever there is high inflation, there is what happens in FMCG is, and especially when there is significantly higher food inflation, there is cases where there is a titration of either consumption or downgradation that happens in core categories where penetration is very high. We have seen that. Having said that, I believe that the worst of inflation is over, and this kind of a situation will improve gradually.
Mr. Gupta, if you look at the international business, it's seen actually a good growth in the quarter gone by. So if you could tell us what sort of factors aided this sort of a performance in the quarter gone by, and just to follow up on your growth strategy front, if you could talk to us about that. But first, let's only talk about the international business.
I think we have been extremely, our entire international business is based on strong fundamentals and based on organic growth. We haven't done too many adventurous inorganic acquisitions. It has been a very focused approach. Bangladesh was our first success, where we got both the product portfolio right, the go-to-market right, the cost structure right, the people and processes right, and there has been a significant diversification journey. We are then replicating this in Southeast Asia business and the Middle East business, and we are extremely confident of delivering this double-digit growth. I think we have delivered 7 consecutive quarters of double-digit constant currency growth, and I believe that most of the international business is on a virtuous cycle. Having said that, we have to be careful about the fact that I think there are short-term headwinds in some of the markets in the form of currency depreciation, in the form of inflation, but given the condition of our business, it is extremely resilient.
Right, Mr. Gupta, and just want to follow up on that. In terms of your growth strategy in the international market, overseas market, is it something which we can look at in terms of M&A may lead the growth, or will you be looking at expanding in newer markets?
I think there is enough headroom for growth in the geographies we participate in. I believe there is enough improvement, there's scope for improvement in market share in some of the geographies we participate in. We would be open to tuck-in acquisitions in the existing markets, but I don't see a significant M&A-led growth, but mostly an organic growth. And we will continue to focus on some of the markets. Yes, we have looked into some of the other markets for new country development, but it will be adjacent markets rather than completely opening up new markets. Like, for example, we are definitely not going to go to either developed markets in Asia, Europe, and US, and even developing markets in LATAM, something which we have clearly decided not to go.
All right, Mr. Gupta, then we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now to talk about the quarter gone by for Marico. What are you expecting the way forward? But let's move on and let's